Hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jameelah, and I'm a master manifester, and I'm sure you are too because you're watching content like this. The name of this channel is Holistic Manifesting because I believe it takes a whole body, whole mind, and whole being experience in order to manifest these amazing lives that we're choosing, right? So, what I am discussing today is standing 10 toes down. And I feel like this is a timely message. I had no intentions of creating a video today. Like, I wasn't thinking for 1 second, oh, today when I get home, I'm going to make sure that it just hit me all of a sudden. And whenever I have moments like that, I know that it's a very timely message and it needs to be shared right then and there. And that because I believe in a collective consciousness, and I know that at any given time, there's a collective that's experiencing the exact same thing that I know I'm seeing and I'm also experiencing in my life. So sometimes our experiences, they intersect and they run parallel and they intertwine. And this is one of those moments, right? So if you find yourself in a position where you're wondering if you being truthful, if you telling your truth, if you being honest about who you are, you being honest about what you expect, you being honest about what you don't want to be having, what you don't want to deal with in any given situations, right? And you're not complaining about it. You're being very clear and you're being very honest. You need to stand 10 toes down. I promise you, this is the season of truth. Do not waste your time on people that are bitter, people that are angry, people that are mad because their tricks and their lies and their deceit and their deviousness and their maliciousness and their duplicitousness is not working. You need to make sure that you are not falling into their nonsense, right? What you may be struggling with in this moment is whether or not you are making the right decision when it comes to standing in your truth, right? If we think about all of the people that's coming to pass and people that we've thought about over the years that have been historical figures and all that kind of stuff that everybody's still going on about to this day, what is the number one thing that they said that they had to learn how to do and that they had to get comfortable with doing and they had to get comfortable with being? And that is the truth. They had to be comfortable with not being liked. They had to be comfortable with being disagreed with, which is perfectly fine. They had to be comfortable with just their presence offending people. They had to be comfortable with saying no and people treating them like the no should have been a yes, even though there's no good reason that the no can't be a no, only because it inconveniences them, right? Stand 10 toes down. There's a situation that occurred recently that showed me this so clearly. Now, I don't have a hard life. I always tell people that. My life is pretty easy. If I look, I am a mom who's single and I raised 2 daughters. I live a really, really good life. Like, I have no complaints there, right? So I don't act like my life is not easy in a lot of ways because like I always tell my daughters, no matter how bad you think it is, it can really get worse. So when I come across these things, they stick out like a sore thumb because everything else in my space is like flowing, ebb, flow, and it's like working. And then you have this glaring thing that seems like it's some type of energy from your past. Stand 10 toes down. Stand in the truth. Be honest about who you are, what you want, where you're going, what you believe and think of yourself. Because let me tell you, somebody's always out there going to try to tell you that you're not what you know you are. And this is what's so crazy about it. I was sitting there today listening and thinking to myself, like, these are the shenanigans that we play in the Matrix. These are the shenanigans that we play in the 3D. This is the biggest reason why I have not been in the 3D, in the shenanigans. I've always been a professor who was teaching a distance. And really, if you know professors, they don't have to be around people all day. Like, they do their jobs, they go home, they lock themselves in their offices, right? So my eye-opening to being around Matrix people minded in this attitude and the way that everybody is just so incredibly fake. I'm like, y'all gonna get cancer being fake so much. You holding up all that real, this is nonsense. I digress. Nonetheless, stand 10 toes down. Don't let people shake you from your truths. Don't let people try to make you think that you should believe something different because everybody has a right to their beliefs. Everybody has a right to their mindsets and stuff, right? And if you're in an environment, right, where there is an issue happening with a terrible personality conflict, right? And you've seen it happen with several other people and not just you, you've seen it, right? And somebody's trying to convince you that you're the same as somebody else. Is like, oh, dude, you've lost your mind, and so is this person. Because I ain't buying none of it. And it's a new version of me because the old me, like I said, would have been like, I'll absorb it. I'll be the bigger person. I'll be better. I'll work with the person who's clearly a lunatic. and deranged and full of nonsense and lies, I'll do it. With same in relationships, he's not so bad. The relationship is 70% good. We're not doing that. 2024 is your year to stand in your truth. It's your year to knock down all those walls that you've put up where you've lied to yourself and said that if I was honest about who I was, if I was really who I was, if I was really the person that I wanted to be, people would somehow reject me and not want me. Let me tell you this. If you start opening that door, it's already downhill. Because to be honest with you, people can tell really quickly when you are studying yourself. They can tell when you manage yourself. They can tell when you self-study. They can tell when you self-regulate. They can tell when your emotions are regulated. They can tell. And so what some people will try to do with that, they'll use that solidness of you and say, well, since you're so together, just cooperate with the crazy person. No. People do this in relationships. They do it in the workplace. They do it at home with their children. They do it in grocery stores. They even do it on the road when they're driving. They do it everywhere, right? And I'm here to tell you today that it's not necessary for you to budge. Because what I'm realizing in this day and age is that truth wins. Truth may not win with the losers, because the losers, the mediocre folk, the ones that's sitting there talking about this person, talking about that person, and acting like this person is evil and having gossip over there and saying, she's like this, they're like that, you're like, losers. Because guess what? People that are winners don't sit around and yapping about what other people are doing in their personal life and what they got going on. So mentally stunted. When you realize that that is the only crowd you're losing, I think I just finished saying the other day, I'd rather the mighty few than the unqualified many. This is a real deal. I'm not playing games in life. I mean, like, it's not even an option. So it's like you have to get to yourself to tell you that, so that you know what happens when that happens? You don't see the nonsense anymore. I'm convinced that a person that's this mentally ill and this off, I won't run into again on a regular basis, because I'm clearly seeing that I don't have to participate. And it's not my problem. And what people want you to think is, well, since you're the big, can't you just, no, it's your problem. It's not mine. I'm not a sickum, right? I'll say they do that to people in the workplace a lot. It's like, you seem like they don't want to be disliked. They don't want to be the hard knuckle person. They want you to go in there and, get them, set them straight. No, get somebody else to do it. I'm going to sit there, be in my own world and space, do immaculate work as I always do, continue to be unbothered, and continue to be okay with being disliked. Because let me tell you, if you can manage being disliked, can't nobody mess with you. Can't nobody mess with you. And then you realize that you never needed to be liked by those people anyway. That if they wanted to see the best version of you, then that's what they would have chose. But they're choosing the nonsense. Stand 10 toes down. Stand in your truth. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.